Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and I am passionate about helping scholarly mamas like you navigate your journeys with purpose so you can achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters. The reality is that scholarly mama life is multidimensional. We're scholars, yes, but we're also mothers, wives, and so much more with whole lives outside of academia. So how do we successfully navigate all this? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Only then can we begin the important work of becoming purposefully whole. And part of my own purposeful work is to create a space for us as scholarly mamas to grow, to reflect, and to become everything that we were meant to be. So, mama, are you in? Fabulous. Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Hey mamas, welcome back to the podcast. I am so thrilled that you've chosen to tune in today. So if you are on our mailing list, you would have seen by now that we are going to be opening the doors to Scholarly Mamas, our dedicated collective for purposeful scholarly mamas like you, and we will be opening the doors to that on the 1st of January 2024. So if you want to know more about Scholarly Mamas, what it's all about, what our goals are, what our mission is, and what our vision is for Scholarly Mamas, please make sure you hop on the waiting list. Once you're on the wait list, you will get all of the inside scoop on what's happening around Scholarly Mamas. So what is Scholarly Mamas? Scholarly Mamas is a purposeful space that combines coaching, courses, and community and brings together ambitious mamas like yourself who are doing PhDs. We support you by giving you the tools, frameworks, and mindset strategies to help you achieve your scholarly and personal goals as you embrace your unique contributions to this world. Scholarly Mamas is a collective of smart, purposeful PhD mothers who are committed to helping you navigate your academic journey successfully while raising your babies. And the goal is to become purposefully whole. Our unique space exists to help you turn your juggle struggle into purposeful journeys of becoming by creating and taking action on your unique scholarly mama purpose path. Our mission is to help you grow in your purpose while you pursue your scholarly and personal ambitions with creativity, tenacity, and boldness. And the best bit, you won't be alone. You'll be right alongside other like-minded scholarly mamas just like you. So if you want to know more about Scholarly Mamas, make sure you hop on our wait list and you will get all of the inside scoop. So in today's episode, I want to share with you time management secrets from a purposeful scholarly mama. I want to share all of my top secrets for how to best manage your time as a scholarly mama. As a scholarly mama, you are no stranger to the juggling act of managing your academic pursuits and the demands of motherhood. It's a challenging undertaking, but with the right time management strategies, you can make the most of your day while achieving your goals and being present for your family. So let's dive in with some practical tips to help you manage your time more effectively. So the way I'm going to structure this episode is I want you to think about some of the questions you can ask yourself when you are trying to improve your time management strategy. You're trying to make the most of the little bit of time that you have available for the huge tasks that you need to get done within that time. So the first question that is really helpful to ask yourself when you are trying to organize your time as a scholarly mama is, what are my priorities for this time period? Of course, when you've got certain activities and tasks that you have to get done within a set time, you have perhaps got a few deadlines that you're working towards. I want you to quantify that time and think, okay, so I've got 3 months to get X or Y done, or I've got 1 year, or I've got 2 years, or I've got 3 weeks, or what have you. And I want you to ask yourself, what are my top priorities? What are my priorities for this particular time period? What are my priorities for this 1 year? What are my priorities for this 2 months? Whatever the time period might be. You are seeking to prioritize your tasks. So you want to identify the most important and the most urgent activities that you need to do both in your research and in your family life over that particular time period. And by focusing on what truly matters, you can avoid getting overwhelmed by less important tasks, because we all know that this happens to all of us, where we've set our priorities, we know what we need to be working on, but then we become distracted and eventually overwhelmed because we're spending our time doing the less important tasks. So by putting your tasks in order of priority, it sets you up really, really well for how you need to focus in terms of making time for particular activities. The second question to ask yourself, and the second, secret is, what are your goals for this time period? So the question to ask yourself here is, what are my goals for this particular time period? So setting clear and achievable goals for each day helps you to know what you are working towards. Knowing exactly what you want to accomplish can help you to stay on track and avoid procrastination. So after you have established what your goals are for this particular time period, then I want you to think about, what is your current reality? So these are the goals, these are what you want to work towards, and how does that compare with your current reality? Is it realistic for you to accomplish those goals in this particular time period? And if it is realistic, what are your options for actually achieving these goals? What actions are you willing to and will you take in order to turn those goals into your reality? And so the next question leading on from that is, how can I support myself in actually getting these tasks done? Because it's one thing to set goals, and we talk a lot about SMART goals and making sure they're specific and realistic and all the rest of it. But how can you support yourself in actually making those goals a reality and actually getting the tasks that are required done in order to reach your goals? So developing a detailed schedule that includes dedicated time for your PhD work, your family time, and self-care really, really helps with this. Sticking to this schedule as consistently as possible can help you to create a routine that works for you. So, let's backtrack a little bit. I've been coaching a client who has been struggling with overwhelm and also struggling with the motivation to get the PhD task done. And so in our discussions, one of the things that we coached on was, how can I really make sure that I set myself up for success with these tasks? How can I make sure that, number one, I am very clear on what I am trying to achieve in a particular time period, in a particular time frame? I'm realistic about that, but also, how can I make sure that the tasks actually get done? Because we know what scholarly mama life is like. We know we need to plan for contingencies. There's always, things that prevent us from being able to turn our goals into reality. Something may come up with the kids or someone may be sick, and we need to plan for those contingencies. So one of the things that we coached on was, how can you set yourself up for actually achieving success? How can you do that? And one of the ways of doing that is to develop a schedule that helps you to do that. And inside of our program, Scholarly Mamas, or if you choose to work with me one-on-one, we will go through that in detail. We will talk about how to set yourself up, looking at all the tasks that you have and all the activities that you have, and how can you make a detailed schedule that helps you to actually get things done. So the next question that you can ask yourself in terms of how to set yourself up for success with time management is, can I delegate any tasks, and do I need to seek support? So quite often as scholarly mamas, we are very hesitant to identify the need for support. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because we, subconsciously identify ourselves as some kind of superwoman and we can do anything and we've got this. And that's great. Of course, that we want to feel confident and that confidence is well placed. It has its job. But when you are feeling overwhelmed and when you actually sit down with your task and realize that you've got a whole lot of things to do and a very little amount of time to do it in, one of the ways to kind of ease that stress and ease that overwhelm is to delegate and to seek support. Can you get help from your partner, your spouse? Can you get support from family members or even friends? Delegating tasks and seeking support when needed can help to relieve some of that pressure and free up more time for the things that truly matter to you. So going back to that initial question of what are your priorities? And if you can delegate and seek support in certain areas, does that allow you to actually have time available for those priorities? So thinking about how to delegate and seek support is definitely something to consider when managing your time as a purposeful scholarly mama. And so the next question that you can ask yourself when you're trying to manage your time more efficiently and effectively is actually a bit of a paradox, because it's not about managing time as much as it's about managing energy. And in my next episode, I want to talk to you about why energy management is actually, in many cases, more important than time management. And so the question to ask yourself in this case, when you're thinking about managing time, is what is the energy tone that I want to set for myself? How can I manage my energy to make sure that I am set up and well placed to actually manage my time? And so that feels like, oh my goodness, well, how can I do that? And exploring ways of managing energy, exploring ways of reflecting and thinking about, what went well for you the previous time period and how can you learn from that experience? And, the last time you were really productive and got lots done, how did it feel? And how can you set yourself up to feel that way in order for you to accomplish the actual task? So in thinking about managing energy, I think it's one of these things that feels a little bit uncomfortable at first, but when you are able to get yourself into the right energy, or even, identifying when you work at your best, when you're at your highest energy levels, and when you are, exhausted and needing time to kind of just take a break and rest, is so crucially important. And one of the things that I coached a recent client on was around rest being productive as well, and making time within that schedule that we talked about for rest, for contingency, to allow yourself the grace of not having to always be switched on in order to be productive, but giving yourself the space and grace to be more aware of your energy and being able to manage that in a way that allows you to get your task done. And so the next question to ask yourself is around self-care. And we know that self-care is essential. We know this, and yet we neglect it. It's the first thing to go when life is busy, when life gets hectic, when there's lots of deadlines. Self-care is the first thing to go. None of us are perfect. We're all, we've all experienced this. And it's really important for us as scholarly mamas to take care of ourselves physically and mentally in order to maintain our energy and focus. If we neglect our well-being, we will not achieve success. There's no point and benefit in achieving success when we are burnt out ourselves at the end of it. And so the question to ask yourself is, how am I honoring my self-care in this time period? How can I honor my well-being and my self-care? How can I make time for wellness? How can I make time to just rest and embrace the gift of self-care? And I think that is, it's not specifically about time management, but again, just like the energy management, it's one of those prerequisites for allowing us to be able to best manage our time. Okay, so I hope you found this episode helpful. As I close up this episode, I just wanted you to remember that as a scholarly mama, you are achieving something absolutely remarkable. And it's okay to seek harmony and support on that journey. It's okay to recognize that life is more than the degrees and the accolades and the achievements, but that we first need to be well and present to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor at the end of it. And so there's no point in achieving your PhD goal if at the end of it, you're a fragment of a person. You don't even recognize yourself. Anyway, Mama, I hope you found these time management tips helpful. And of course, we go in so much depth inside of Scholarly Mamas to help you make the most of your time without sacrificing the important stuff. And I want you to remember always that you're not alone in this. And this is why we've created Scholarly Mamas, so that you do not feel like you are the only one on the struggle bus trying to navigate your PhD life and motherhood and real life and relationships and everything else that comes with academic motherhood, but that there are other like-minded mamas who want to share that journey with you. And I really hope that you can be a part of something great. You can be a part of Scholarly Mamas when our doors open in January. Remember that we are here to support you in achieving your PhD dreams without sacrificing what matters most to you. I hope to meet you inside of Scholarly Mamas, but until then and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of gratitude. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, why not head over to mrsmummyphd.com. You can join the waitlist for our exclusive community of smart, purposeful, scholarly mamas. We'd love to see you on the inside. Remember, Mama, these are our journeys of becoming.